Tonight, we embark on a journey into the dark corridors of forgotten asylums, places where the pain of the past still haunts the present. Stay with us as we uncover hidden histories, heart-wrenching tragedies, and spectral voices that continue to echo through these forsaken institutions. At the turn of the 19th century, society's limited understanding of mental illness led to the construction of vast institutions, supposed sanctuaries of healing that, in time, became overcrowded prisons of neglect and despair. In an era when compassion was scarce and scientific knowledge rudimentary, patients, vulnerable and misunderstood, were subjected to brutal isolation, harsh restraints, and experimental therapies that, by today's standards, border on the inhumane. The suffering inflicted within these walls left scars not only on the individuals but on the very structure of the buildings, imbuing them with an energy of sorrow and anguish that many believe still lingers. Our journey begins at the notorious Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Originally built in the early 1900s as a state-of-the-art tuberculosis hospital, Waverly Hills quickly transformed into a repository for human misery. Beneath its once promising facade, patients were isolated, dehumanized, and treated with methods that left indelible marks on both body and spirit. Overcrowding, neglect, and the relentless pressure of despair soon gave birth to legends, stories of ghostly apparitions and inexplicable phenomena that have made this place synonymous with mystery and sorrow. I recall the chilling account of a lone visitor who dared to enter a long-sealed ward. The moment the heavy door creaked shut behind them, an overwhelming cold enveloped the space. A faint, sorrowful moan began in the darkness and slowly morphed into a desperate whisper, a pleading cry that seemed to echo from a time long past. As the visitor fled, that anguished plea clung to their very soul, leaving them with a question that still haunts the corridors of memory: could the building itself have absorbed the suffering of its former inhabitants, transforming into a vessel for lost souls seeking solace? From Waverly Hills, our path leads us to another infamous location, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. This sprawling institution, with its vast, echoing halls and a suffocating atmosphere, has long been a magnet for those seeking encounters with the unknown. Established to house thousands of patients, its walls witnessed untold suffering and unrelieved despair. Over the years, visitors began reporting experiences that defied logical explanation, disembodied voices that seemed to rise from nowhere, sudden drops in temperature that chilled the bone, and full-bodied apparitions that roamed the corridors as if in search of redemption. One paranormal investigator recounted an experience that still sends shivers down his spine. The moment I stepped into one of the deserted wings, the air turned icy, and whispers began, a conversation of sorrow that felt as if it were the building itself lamenting its tragic past. Using advanced equipment like infrared cameras and EVP recorders, he captured moments when the atmosphere shifted dramatically, punctuated by fleeting images and voices that defied rational explanation. These recordings blur the line between historical tragedy and the supernatural, compelling us to question whether the agony of the past has imprinted itself on these walls. To truly grasp the horror of these places, we must confront the brutal realities of the treatments once administered within them. Imagine being confined for days, isolated from any human contact, restrained and subjected to invasive procedures meant to cure rather than comfort. The psychological torment inflicted on these patients was profound, leaving scars that extended far beyond the physical. Their suffering seeped into every crevice of these institutions, creating an enduring, spectral residue, a lingering energy that modern investigators claim can still be detected today. In recent years, researchers and paranormal enthusiasts have returned to these sites armed with the latest technology. Equipped with infrared cameras, electromagnetic field meters, and sophisticated audio recorders, these modern ghost hunters document the inexplicable phenomena that occur within the crumbling halls of these asylums. Their equipment captures sudden temperature drops, eerie whispers in the dead of night, and flickering images that vanish as quickly as they appear. Though skeptics suggest that such occurrences might be attributed to natural acoustics or the quirks of aging structures, The emotional intensity and consistent nature of these encounters have convinced many that there is something far more sinister at work. Yet, beyond the technical readings and ghostly recordings, the true heart of these stories lies in the personal accounts passed down through generations. Families who once had loved ones institutionalized in these asylums share whispered memories of unexplained sounds and shadowy figures. Some speak of a persistent feeling of melancholy that pervades the very air, as if the building mourns the souls trapped within. These narratives, though difficult to verify, carry the weight of lived experience, a reminder that behind every ghostly legend is a human story of suffering and loss. As night deepens and the wind howls outside, the boundaries between the living and the dead seem to blur. In the silence of these abandoned halls, one cannot help but wonder, are the voices we hear simply echoes of past trauma, or are they the restless souls of those who never found peace? The oppressive atmosphere in these places suggests that the barrier between our world and the one beyond may be thinner than we dare to believe. In quiet moments of reflection, one is forced to consider the immense human cost behind these haunted legends. Each abandoned ward and forgotten corridor serves as a testament to lives marred by neglect and cruelty. The forgotten patients, once full of hope and longing for understanding, now linger in these spaces as spectral reminders of a time when society's attempts to cure the mind only deepened its wounds. Their silent pleas, their unspoken anguish, resonate through the cracks in the walls and the cold, empty rooms, urging us to remember and learn from the tragedies of the past. Historians, poring over dusty records and faded photographs, have begun to piece together these fragmented stories, revealing a tapestry of human suffering that is as tragic as it is complex. Every document, every archival image, offers a glimpse into a time when the struggle to understand mental illness led to practices that today seem unimaginable. One historian remarked, "Each record is a story of pain, a testament to lives diminished by the very systems meant to protect them." These scholarly reflections add depth to our understanding, bridging the gap between the cold facts of history and the living, breathing legends that persist in the modern day. But the exploration of these haunted asylums is not solely an academic exercise, it is also an emotional journey. As modern investigators and storytellers delve into the mysteries of these abandoned institutions, they encounter an energy that is as palpable as it is unsettling. The recordings of ghostly whispers, the sudden, inexplicable chill of the air, and the fleeting images captured on camera are all part of a narrative that challenges our perceptions of reality. They compel us to confront uncomfortable truths about the past and to acknowledge that some wounds may never fully heal. In one particularly striking investigation, a team spent an entire night within the silent corridors of an old asylum. As they moved from room to room, their instruments began to pick up inexplicable fluctuations, a drop in temperature here, a burst of static there. At one point, the audio recorder captured a series of soft, indistinct voices that seemed to plead for help, as if echoing the desperate cries of the institution's long-forgotten inhabitants. The experience was so profound that even the most skeptical among them felt an undeniable chill, a reminder that some mysteries defy simple explanation. And yet, amid the darkness and despair, there is a call to remember. The very act of exploring these haunted corridors is an homage to the countless souls whose lives were irrevocably altered by isolation, neglect, and cruelty. Their stories are woven into the fabric of these buildings, a silent chorus that implores us to honor their memory and to seek understanding in the midst of horror. As we continue to navigate this labyrinth of history and the paranormal, we are left with questions that linger long after the investigation is over. Can the restless spirits of these asylums ever find peace? Is it possible for the wounds of the past to heal, or are we forever doomed to be haunted by the echoes of what once was? These questions are not easily answered, and perhaps they are meant to remain unanswered, a reminder of the enigmatic nature of human suffering and the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil of our understanding. Now, as our journey through these dark corridors draws to a close, I invite you to reflect on what you have heard. Consider the silent struggles of those who once inhabited these walls, and remember that their voices, though long silenced in life, continue to resonate in the quiet moments of the night. If you have ever experienced an unexplained chill in an abandoned building or heard a whisper that defied explanation, you are not alone. These experiences connect us across time, a shared memory of loss and longing that calls on us to remember and to bear witness. Thank you for joining me on this exploration into the haunted history of forgotten asylums. If these stories have stirred something deep within you, if the echoes of the past have touched your soul, please consider sharing your own experiences and thoughts. Your voice is a vital part of this ongoing conversation, a reminder that even in the darkest of places, we are never truly alone. And as you step back into the light, hold close the knowledge that every whispered secret and every hidden sorrow is a part of our shared history, a history that, despite its pain, continues to shape who we are. Remember, the past is never truly gone. It lives on, waiting to be remembered.